Hello, welcome to Quirky Meow in Berlin, which is a series where I'll be talking about my art relating to my life in Berlin, what it's like to live in Berlin as an expat or immigrant, trying to find feeling of home and belonging to the city. The job market, for me is limited because I speak okay German, but I'm not really German. So yeah, it's a bit of a mix of battles, but also, joys. So my first painting that I would like to introduce to you, I called it Screams Berlin, and this is a study of the Berlin fashion. That's something, it's very striking when you first come and you see all these people are just dressed in weird, clothes. Doesn't make, any visually pleasing, aesthetically sense. And that's what I liked for me specifically, because I don't care too much about like looking elegant. So in that sense, I feel like I do really belong into the city. But there are still some sort of trends that I personally have spotted or I believe exist. So the typical, I think, the Berlin is always wear black leather coats. Going to clubs were all black. Second sort of striking feature, I think, is a lot of like layering. So you could have someone wearing, a tank top, a t-shirt, a dress, a skirt, on top of that like a jacket, boots, a hat, lots of accessories. I started off this piece by wanting to celebrate this culture of vibrance. And then when I thought a bit deeper about the people who I see, on the metro, they're wearing, pretty funky clothes. They might want to express themselves. And yet I know a lot of people, or I've heard a lot of stories of people actually almost, covering their sadness or their emptiness by going clubbing, by, looking this vibrant, covering their trauma. And that's something I couldn't escape when I was drawing this last figure, which is inspired by The Scream by Edvard Munch. He just felt this eeriness from the surrounding, like something is wrong, right? In Berlin, I feel like often, especially, and maybe if you're new almost, you feel that like, this city is a little bit creepy. I think it's not just prejudice. I think there is something about not living the typical, good life in the Aristotelian way of like, vitality. It's more of a making do with whatever you have and making that beautiful. This is why I included this specific figure to show the existential angst that exists, I think, in Berlin a lot. People are trying to understand, why are they here, and what is the best way to live freely but still survive. Lastly, I would like to credit another inspiration of mine, who is Josef Lada. He is a very famous Czech illustrator from the beginning of the 20th century, and he's very famous for illustrating a book called Osudy dobrého vojáka Švejka, which is a book about this very funny soldier. The stories are very popular in Czech Republic, and you could see maybe some illustrations of the soldier in Prague, bars, maybe even other places in the other Czech cities. And Josef Lada is also very good at illustrating children's books. He wrote a couple, and I grew up reading a lot of them. And within my Quirky Meow series, where I like to include a cat in every painting, it was good that he also had a book about a cat called Mikesh, who is traveling around the world. And maybe that's how I got back to Lada, because I thought of myself as this, a Czech cat black Czech cat from the countryside, almost coming into this big city of unknown I think what's special about Josef Lada is he lost, a vision in one of his eyes as a child, and so he grew up seeing, I would say, less of a 3D perspective, and that's why maybe his illustrations are a lot of reliant on the thickness of black line, which I personally love too. I love the fact that you can have a line that can tell you, oh, because if it's thin, it must mean there's a little shadow, and if it's thick, it's more shadow, and more shadow means, oh, it's more closer to you because you can see it, whereas if it's thinner, it means, oh, this object is far away from you. And sort of that's what I did here too, in the back of the landscape the lines are thinner, and in the front it's more pronounced. It really emphasizes also the focus. So this is something I'm really taking away from him, and I'm continuing to explore the way he portrays figures, because he does it in a very funny, human way. It brings up persona in a lot of his characters, including animals. So yeah, my appreciation to Josef Lada for making my childhood so unforgettable.